All right. Here we go. Does this make you want to hold your hand to your heart and sing "Oh Canada"? No, these don't. You're right. That's a good observation. Did y'all notice that there's not as many, almost no seeds on here? They just, well, they might be like, yeah, well, that's a flower. That's what was left of the flower, but it didn't turn into seeds.
These look very distinct.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about this one, but the red maple, and maybe this one too, produce their seeds in the spring, where these other maples and the box elder produce their seeds in the fall. So, and we can talk about this when we get down to the red maple. But anyway, I'm going to look it up, but I suspect this is a seed or a spring seeding kind of maple. But this is Acer saccharum, and to me, the word saccharum kind of sounds like saccharin, you know, the artificial sweetener in the pink pouch.
Do borers usually get this tree?
No, but sapsucker woodpeckers do. It's probably sapsucker caterpillar. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's some over here. There's probably on all of them. I don't think the tree really is what? It's a woodpecker. And are they after the sap or are they after borers? Most woodpeckers are after grubs and bugs because they eat sap. Makes sense.
A regular woodpecker would just go for the bugs.
Yeah.
Purposely harm the tree to get the sap.
Yeah. But the trees tolerate it for the most part. I mean, I've seen them with a lot of trees, apple trees especially, old apple trees. So that's Acer saccharum, sugar maple. All right. I can't tell if I'm filming or not. Steven, you know which one it is? Oh, can I get you to hold that for me, please? I might need it. All right. So, if you'll notice on the list, we've got several in the genus Acer. Acers are maples, and almost all of them, all of the Acers have a single leaf. It's probably called an entire leaf. The red maple, the trident maple, the Japanese maple, the sugar maple, which we'll see later. But this one has a compound leaf, so it kind of, I'm gonna pop one off here. It kind of it almost looks like poison ivy. If it only had, if you were to take those back two off, what's left looks an awful lot like poison ivy. But it's a compound leaf. This particular tree is very weedy. It's very aggressive. It produces tons and tons of these seeds. I can grab one of these off of here. I mean, all these are very soon to be turning brown, and they'll become airborne and little helicopters, and they'll spread. They'll come up like crazy in these beds.
On a maple tree.
They are maple. I mean, it's an Acer like all the others.
Right.
Now, what's a little different on the other Acers, the actual seed part is like a little.
It's a sugar maple.
It's rounded. This is a Acer, but on these it's like a little bullet-looking thing. Yeah, Acer negundo. And they'll kind of fly, but they need to be drier before they'll fly very well. But it's very weak-wooded, very fast. A lot of trees that are fast-growing are also weak-wooded. So, yeah, you might get shade real quick, but it's also going to bust apart in a storm real quick. And they make a mess. I mean, they're coming up everywhere. Like most of these little seedlings over here, and over behind the gazebo and down that bank, that's all this guy, these couple of big guys right here. I have daydreams about cutting these suckers down, but then we'd expose all of our shade garden stuff probably. So yeah, and that we've actually.
Off center it is and stuff.
Oh yeah, we can. The other problem is I have a little bit of a emotional challenge handing off a chainsaw
Yeah.
to college students, especially you. Just
I
kidding.
work with one all day, but okay, sure.
Just kidding. Okay, so that's Acer negundo, box elder. Oh, they also, in addition to all the other problems, they get these lovely little red and white bugs called box elder bugs. They have their own bug. That's how bad they are. Yeah, they'll be all over out here. Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah, yeah, they kind of group up. Yeah,
Oh, loves this tree. The red bugs.
yeah, it's called box elder bugs. Box elder bugs. So, other than a little bit of shade, I don't know what they're good for. But here they are. All right, so that's Acer negundo. So the plant we're looking at is not the shrub, it's the vine growing on top of the shrub. This is Ampelopsis glandulosa, or porcelain berry. If you want to come on in, see if you can find any more mature berries. There's some green berries on there now, but if you might have to dig around a little bit. And there's more growing up. Oh, y'all be careful. There's probably a wasp nest in here.
Oh yeah. Is it a wasp nest?
Y'all see the wasp? They'll like to make nests inside these bushes. So. But usually they won't bother you unless you look like a flower or smell like a flower. So if you look like a flower and smell like a flower, you're gonna get pollinated by a wasp. Yeah, they're kind of marbly looking. Exactly. Yeah, if you could find a mature berry, they're like a mixture of purple and swirled white and pinkish. So they're kind of cool, like porcelain. Oh, there's a wasp right there. But see, they're more interested in those flowers than they are us. But I have found, working around a bunch of educators at a middle school or elementary school or high school, that ladies that wear a lot of perfume and floral prints, they look like a flower, they smell like a flower, so the wasps try to pollinate them. Okay, this plant is the pawpaw tree, Asimina triloba. This happens to be growing in my backyard, so we don't have any on campus to show you, although I will be bringing one in a container. But if you can see these individuals here, they all are sort of from a little suckering colony, and none of them, this tallest one is probably 3.5 feet tall. The others are much smaller. This is the only, I shouldn't say only, it's one of the few fruit trees in this part of North America. True trees, not like blueberry bushes, and I've got some blueberry bushes over there, or some form thereof. But these can form a large tree or a colony. I found another colony a little bit smaller than this one, just about 40 feet away. So I'm curious where they came from. But they bloom in the spring with a small bloom that attracts flies and beetles. It doesn't have a pretty smell. It has what they call a fetid smell, which means it probably smells like decaying meat or rotten garbage, and it attracts a fly. And then it produces a fruit that's like 3 to 6 inches long, kind of roughly banana shaped, and is quite edible, they say. I'd love to find some and sample it. It's said to have the texture of like custard or banana, mango, little hint of citrus, that kind of thing. But anyway, cool little native understory plant, Asimina triloba pawpaw tree. Did we lose some folks? All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's the caboose right there. All right, so this is the last, I think, of the new 5 for this week. When I learned this plant, when I was probably 16 or 17 years old, 5 years ago, we called this Mahonia beali. And somewhere along the way, somebody decided it was in a different genus called Berberis. Berberis is barberry, but if you've ever dug up or ever pruned one of these and pruned a barberry, you'll notice that both of them have yellow wood. Like if you were to, I got any pruners on them? If you were to make a cutting, the wood is very bright yellow. The roots are too. It doesn't like bleed yellow sap or anything, but barberries are pretty much the same way. So the common name is Oregon grape holly. It's not a grape, not a holly. This is why common names are challenging, because they don't always really describe what you got. But pretty much evergreen. This is a horrible specimen, by the way. They normally look a lot better than this, but this is the only one we got. But they'll have a cluster of yellow flowers that arise in like February or March. Really pretty, attract the pollinators. And then those become purple berries that look like grapes. So that's why one of the names is Oregon grape holly. Like the Ampelopsis, like a lot of other things, the birds love to eat the berries and then go drop them everywhere. And this is kind of considered, it's on some people's list for being invasive. I'd have to double check and make sure it's on the official list. But anyway, compound leaf. This is all one leaf right here. These are all the individual leaflets.
Will they get more taller, more bushy if it's more light?
This one would need to be pruned to make it fuller and bushier. It probably wasn't planted well. The soil's probably compacted real tight, real poor. This could be rejuvenated with some pruning, but like, and we'll talk about this when we get to the Nandinas in a little bit. But wherever you prune these, that's where they're going to branch out. So if you pruned it here, it's going to branch out at that node right there. So choose your pruning points wisely. And my strategy for these and for the Nandinas, I'm giving away my secrets ahead of time here, is you take a plant like this and you think about it like a spiral staircase. So you prune as if they were like spiral stair steps, and everywhere you have a cut, you're going to have a branch. So then you tend to get a fuller looking plant. What I would do is pick the tallest, or the one that I want to be the tallest. And to me, I mean, it's either this one or maybe this little group right here, and I'd work down from there, maybe. So the whole plant would be shorter. It'd look better from the beginning, except for a few little stubs. And then probably next spring when it fleshes back out, it'd be a lot prettier, yeah. So that's Berberis beali, or Oregon grape holly.